Today I want to talk to you about Tefillin, which is a Jewish commandment for men. It's a Jewish ritual. It's something that we are supposed to do every single day. You can see that I'm currently wearing the Tefillin on my arm and on my head, and it's wrapped on. And I wanted to talk to you about its significance and the profound teachings and meaning behind it, because it's such an important part of daily Jewish living and my life, and I think it's important to understand it on a deeper level, and I think a lot of people will be interested. So the source for the commandment of Tefillin comes from the verses in Deuteronomy, in Devarim, which is the last of the 5 books of Moses, of the Torah, and it says, you shall bind them as a sign upon your arm and let them be tefillin between your eyes. And so this is why, by the way, we need an oral Torah, the rabbinical commentary, to tell us what these things mean, because it says, they should be a sign on your arm and between your eyes. We'd need to know exactly what would that entail and what would that mean. So starting with Moses, when God conveyed it to him and then passed down through the generations, we were taught how to do it. So it's the 2 parts. It's about the head between your eyes, which is this shel rosh is meant to go, which means for the head, goes directly between the eyes, and then on your arm over here, which is meant to face the heart. So this part here is meant to face the heart. Now within each of these 2 little boxes that you see contain actual Torah scrolls. And in these verses are contained references to the commandment to wear tefillin, but also about the importance of faith and strength and commitment to God and to his Torah. And they really are symbolic of a Jewish commitment. What's symbolized through strapping the Torah, basically, to our heads, to our minds, and to our arm and heart is symbolic of Jewish devotion and commitment. And I'll talk a little bit about what they all kind of symbolize. Now, I was once shown a beautiful idea that when Moses saw God at the top of Mount Sinai, he saw that God was wearing tefillin. Now, obviously, this would be some kind of spiritual tefillin, a godly tefillin, but he was wearing it. And just as our tefillin boxes contain Torah verses about our devotion to him, his boxes, tefillin boxes, spoke of his devotion to his nation, Israel, the Jewish people. And the verses were about him praising Israel and saying, Mi ka'amchi Israel, who is like my nation Israel. So this really is about devotion. It's about a ritualistic act of demonstrating in action our devotion to our relationship with God, with the God of Israel. Part of wrapping it around our hand, when we actually do that, we quote words of, I will betroth you to me. We're saying that we're basically in a marriage with God, and this is in some ways almost like the wedding ring with God. It's really a beautiful idea. There's so many things to talk about. You can actually, we're told that, you can see it. There's various letters could be spelled within the way the straps are placed on the hand, and one idea is that it actually contains the letters of one of God's names in there. So that's obviously very symbolic, putting that on the hand representing action and also where we betroth ourselves to one another. Now we have the head part, which symbolizes our devotion in our intellectual capacity, then the arm, which symbolizes action, and then also the fact that it's facing the heart, which symbolizes emotion. And we're basically saying that we want to have all 3 in sync in our service of God. That having a wholesome relationship with God and actually with other human beings means when you have all things aligned, your values are totally aligned when it comes to both intellectual, emotional, and action. It all flows from there, and that's what we're trying to achieve, and that's what's being achieved through tefillin. I must emphasize again that there's so many aspects to tefillin, and ultimately we do God's commandments simply because he told us to and commanded us to, and it's a need of his, and we're delighted to fulfill that need. And ultimately the reasons are just that, reasons, and our devotion to God transcends that. But there is so much depth to every one of his mitzvot, to every one of his commandments, and there's always benefit to understanding the deeper elements of the commandments. Another beautiful idea that I'll share with you, and again, I stress there are so many, and maybe we can do some various segments on this, but you'll notice that you have 2 straps coming down from the head that go down the body. Now, one strap is meant to be slightly longer than the other. Why? Well, one of the reasons is that one is meant to reach at least the stomach area, and the other is meant to reach the male genital area. Now, why would that be? Well, the two great animalistic drives that exist within us human beings are the desire for food and sexual desire, sexual gratification. And what's being symbolized through this, through the head, and then sort of, and the Tefillin and the Torah scrolls reaching down all the way into those two base drives and desires, we're basically saying that we're going to be in control of those desires. We're going to channel them appropriately. It's no accident that the great biblical figure that transcended his sexual desire and urge, despite having every reason to feel bad for himself, despite facing great temptation, despite being at the height of male youth and beauty, Joseph was tested with Potiphar's wife, and he ran away and did not commit adultery. And the rabbis tell us that because he controlled his sexual desire, that gave him the right, the privilege to control the food resources in Egypt, which he did when he reached the high levels of political power that Pharaoh granted him when he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. The rabbis are telling us there's a connection there. If he could show that is in control of one area, then he has the right to, he's gained the right to be in charge of this other area because he's shown that he is in control of his base faculties and base drives. And so that's something that's really symbolic there. What we're really doing with Tefillin is trying to symbolize and hopefully actualize this idea that we're going to take notions and values of what we believe in and translate them into real life, earthly action, feeling, and intellectual conviction. And this is what, by the way, Judaism teaches faith means. Contrary to other religions, which say faith means belief despite having conclusive evidence or proof, Judaism says, no, that's stupid. God gives you intellectual faculties, use them. We don't say that you can't get to knowledge of God. We say that you can, and faith, emunah, in Judaism, means faithfulness, being loyal to that truth, being loyal to the knowledge, as we say in the Aleinu prayer, and you shall know this day and take it to your heart, meaning you can know something's true, but are you going to be loyal to it? That's what faith is in Judaism. Are you going to be faithful to the truth? I can know that smoking's bad for me, but can still continue to smoke. I don't smoke, by the way, but we can do that. We can convince ourselves that it's all right, it's okay, and we can dance around the truth. It's not always easy to do what's right. And so I think that's very much what's symbolized in Tefillin and in the meaning of Jewish faith. We say that what actually counts is how you act. We're full of all kinds of emotions and feelings and pushed and pulled in all different kinds of directions. But what we really want at the end of the day is to ground ourselves in the truth, so we can't be pushed around too much. And I think Tefillin very much symbolizes that. As I say, so much more to speak about, but I think it's a beautiful Jewish commandment, godly commandment, and it's something that I wanted to speak with you a little bit about today. I'm Ollie and you're watching JTV. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. If you want to watch another one, click here. If you want to subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest JTV content, click here. And if you're feeling really keen, you can click the join button down below underneath this video, where you can get perks including early access to new videos and private live discussions with me, where we can talk about JTV content and strategy moving forward, and I'll get to hear from you. Thanks again for watching.